All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming out here tonight. Members of Congress, members of the opposition, members of government, members of opposition. I want to make amends with you guys. I feel like we're on the wrong foot. You look at what we're doing and you say that we're not helping, or that you talk about ways of helping the problem, of these constructive options, of funding schools, of creating loans to help people buy homes, and we're for that. We want to help people. This option helps people. It really can't do anything else. I mean, it's just money. It can't hurt. I want to stress that fact to the members of Congress, that this is about us taking steps forward progressively. This is about us taking a stand, making a material show of amends to the African American community, to the world community. That is the first impact here, the first major impact of what we're saying. That we're going to be making amends, that we're going to be going up there and not just putting our stamp on an apology. We're going to say it's wrong, and we're going to put a number behind it. We're going to say how wrong we think that is. And if the African American community comes back tomorrow and doesn't like that, well, we'll talk. But at least we're trying, taking steps here. And the opposition stands against this. For all of their words, they stand against this reparation. They stand against this gift to the community. They are too tight to bring up funds for it. The member of opposition says that law is progressive and anti-discriminatories exist already to prevent wrongs from happening. And I contend, and I'll say again, this isn't about preventing wrongs. This is about correcting ones that have already been made, that are outside the pure view of law, because we cannot enact retroactively punishments for those who, are already dead. But what we can do is we can repay to some extent the losses endured by the inheritors of our crimes, of our ancestors' crimes. We can make some attempt at that. And while I admit that basing these reparations on the percentile of blackness is not the ideal method. Ideally, we would execute perfect justice based upon the very severity of the oppressions endured, and there would be, you'd get an extra $1 for every lashing that your great-great-great-grandfather took. But I'm sorry, members of opposition, that is simply not possible. You say, Mr. Member of Opposition, you say we shouldn't throw money at a problem. And I say, well, fine, let's form a committee so we can waste some of it on the bureaucrats before we throw money at the problem. I would like to remind you that we are a Congress, and that a simple method of application is the most efficient for the taxpayers. You ask who gets the money, and we say it is genetic. We say that because it is unequivocal. There is no ambiguity to this application. And that is important. We can't have extensive litigation or, we can't, it'd be too complex and too much of a waste of people's time. You talk about how some people are citizens of Africa and who are not actually inheritors of the explicit racism, that their grandparents were not actually enslaved. And I would like to remind you that while, yes, of course, they were not enslaved, and so the primary focus does miss them, the fact is they are members of this community, which we have shown very little kindness to in our history. They are close, in kind to this. And so I feel that while they may not be as deserving, it is beyond us to determine such things. And I want to make this point clear again, that we're trying to help society. That our second impact here is that we're trying to enrich another shade of our culture. and try to repair the inequity that has come between that one and this. Mr. Speaker, members of Congressmen, I thank you and hope that you can all come to a righteous and uplifting conclusion on the matter.